Well, that was kind of clunky getting it started. I should have had everything queued up. So maybe it's, I don't think it's
Morning,
gonna be an
everyone.
issue. Hopefully not, Jeremy.
Thanks for showing up. Good to see everyone this morning. My name is Karen Gidley. I'm a licensed practitioner here at the Center for Spirituality K-12. And it's my this morning to do a meditation. So everyone can just relax, get comfortable into a comfortable position, and close your eyes, your other eyes. Bring your focus into your third eye. Taking a nice deep breath in and holding it. And then release. Self centeredness. Bring that breath in, hold it. Release. Namaste. Today's meditation. Again, any words, hold it, and out. This morning, the visualization is a powerful method that allows you to use your imagination to help you relax. Simply find a comfortable spot and listen to my voice. And take a moment to sit back and relax. Feel yourself in your body right now, in this moment. As you breathe, allow your body to completely and fully relax. Stress is flowing out of you with each breath. Your body is becoming limp and comfortable. Let the tension in your brow go. Let the tension in your lips go. Let the tension in your eyes go. Just relax in the comfortable darkness that surrounds you. Once you feel completely relaxed and centered, start to bring yourself to one of your favorite, peaceful, beautiful places. This could be a place you've been before, like a silent, redwood grove of cool shade and towering ancient trees that protect you in their mammoth embrace. Or a white sand beach with ocean waves jumping back to the shore and
I did it before, but I don't want to screw anything up. It's not there.
It could be a place built entirely in your imagination. A lovely, slowly swaying
There's a link
bridge
in here
that you
somewhere.
stand on, watching the
Controls,
abandoned brook flow away.
settings.
Or an ancient oak tree in the autumn. Something out of a whole garden of golden leaves fall around you as you
Set
sit on the chair
transitions.
and watch the golden orange sun pass over the horizon into twilight.
I could zoom in on her, but I don't.
Wherever this special place is for you,
Yeah, there's
take some
a window
time
that
to
pops
imagine
up, but
as completely as you can all around you.
this scene is the most relaxing to you. Take a walk in this special place and see all that you can see. What do you smell in the air? Can you smell the trees and the soil on the forest floor beneath you? Do you smell the salty air of the ocean side? Bring scent into your visualization. Smell the air where you are. Reach out and touch something that's attractive and peaceful to you. How does it feel? Is it soft to your touch? You're living in the scene. You can feel the ground beneath you and the air on your skin. How does it feel? Take a moment to listen. What sounds do you hear? What do you hear in this beautiful surrounding? Can you hear birds chirping in the woods? Do you hear the ocean waves in their perpetual booming rhythm? Perhaps there is music from an ancient flute in the background. Or maybe you hear the voice of an old friend that soothes and calms you. Whatever you hear, take a moment now to enjoy listening to it. You can stay in this scene as long as you want to, enjoying this moment of relaxation. Feel free to walk around in this special place as long as you want. It's yours. You can change the scene as you wish. Remember that this special place is always here for you. You can come back to it whenever you wish. You need not be afraid to lose it. It's always with you. The relaxation that you feel right now at this moment in your body is yours to call on anytime you wish. slowly let the scene before you dissolve back into your mind. Allow yourself to come back slowly to the comfortable darkness that was there before you imagined your special place. When you're ready in your own time, you can slowly open your eyes and come back to this moment, this time, and this reality. Take a moment to note how relaxed you feel right now. And then slowly and lovingly move on with your daily life. Taking this into prayer, knowing that there's one life, one love, one peace, and this I call God, and I am one with God. Knowing that this day unfolds with divine purpose, divine intervention, and divine intelligence. Knowing that this day we are all here enjoying getting back together again. And those that are watching this from home, we embrace you as well. In this day, know that everything is right here, expressing itself, is in and through each and every one. And knowing this, I am so grateful and happy. And knowing this brings joy and peace to the world. And I'm so grateful. And I anchor this into the divine mind, knowing that it is done. And together we can say, and so it is.
Two. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. I've got the mask on. Test 1 2. So you know that it's going to be louder. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. There it is. Okay. It's definitely there. Well, see, I don't want this to take more than the top. Test.
Good morning. We're going to sing our two songs and One Big Family. And we're also going to do We Come Together. We'd like for you to stand and join us as we sing. We come together.
Slides.
One big family.
Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded who we come to be. We are love, we are one. One big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded who we come to be. We are love, we are one. One big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 hey. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded who we come to be. We are love, we are one. One big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 hey. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, God loves you and I love you too. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Now lift your voice and repeat after me. Oh, we come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. We come together. We come together. We come together. In the name of love. Take a look at the person next to you. Say, I recognize the God in you. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Now lift your voice and repeat after me. Oh, we come together. We come together. We come together.
We come together in the name of love.
We come together.
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 We come together in the name of love.
Every walk of life, every creed and color, in kinship we unite, in honor of the God in each other. Take a look at the person next to you. Say namaste, I bow to you. Now feel the love in the sanctuary. Now lift your voice and repeat after me. Oh, we come together.
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 We come together in the name of love.
We come together.
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 We come together in the name of love.
Oh, we come together.
Come together.
We come together. We come together.
Come together
In the name of love. In the name of love.
in the
Name of love.
Good morning. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Know that wherever you are on your spiritual path, you are welcome here. My name is Reverend Shell Redfern, and I am the spiritual director at the Center for Spiritual Living in Cape Coral, which is what you are tuned in to today, whether in the sanctuary here or at home. So wherever you are, again, on your spiritual path, you are welcome here. Now, we believe that we're co-creators with the divine and that you can change your entire life by doing what? Changing your mind. We study a great many things here, including the writings of Ernest Holmes, who is our founder. We study a lot of other things like Deepak Chopra, things that would be on Oprah Winfrey. Who else? Help me think. Louise Hay, Wayne Dyer, all that kind of stuff. Where we focus on our thinking and the effect that our thinking has on our life, on the outpicturing of our life. Currently, because of the COVID situation, we don't have a box for prayer requests, which is good because there's a lot of people watching us virtually. So your prayer requests can be submitted online at our website, cslcapecoral.org. There is a button right there that says prayer request. You can hit that. Also, if you'd like to receive our email, our e-blast, or updates, please fill in the contact form there and we'll make sure to include you. Now, this portion of the celebration, we used to give hugs and handshakes and everything. No hugs and handshakes today, but we are going to do the welcome. So I invite you to stand up and let's bless each other and all those watching with our welcome. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living. We know who you truly are. You are the spiritual image and likeness of God. We appreciate you. We love you. And we are thankful that you're here. Welcome to the center. All right.
crazy dream, been so long, I thought it was real. As I awaken, my eyes can see all of the beauty that was there for me, and I'm feeling tomorrow shine, feeling tomorrow. Well, it's like I'm driving on a brand new street, and I'm feeling tomorrow shine, feeling tomorrow shine. Got a brand new life ahead, and Lord knows I'll be fine, 'cause I'm feeling tomorrow shine. But I built my life, it seems, based on illusions from some crazy dream. And when it all falls to pieces, and I awaken, and come to realize I've been forsaken, 'cause I'm feeling tomorrow shine, feeling tomorrow shine. Got a brand new life ahead, and Lord knows I'll be fine, 'cause I'm feeling tomorrow shine, feeling tomorrow shine. Got a brand new life ahead, Lord knows I'll be fine, 'cause I'm feeling tomorrow shine.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Linda Lloyd. I'm a licensed practitioner here at the Centers for Spiritual Living, Cape Coral, and it is my honor and pleasure to bring you today's reading. And the reading today is from Science of Mind 365 by our beloved founder, Ernest Holmes, and can be found on page 68. It is titled Faith. And it begins with a quote. Actually, it ends with a quote, but I put it first. Seest thou how faith wrought with his works, and by works was faith made perfect. James 2:22. A spiritual mind treatment or affirmation of truth or prayer of faith, once made and completely accepted, is then acted upon by the law of mind. And the effect or results is independent of the person who has made the prayer. In order to understand this idea more clearly, let us take a simple fact of nature. We bury an acorn in the ground and walk away from it, knowing that someday the oak tree will grow. In the same way, our word is acted upon by some kind of intelligent force or law which knows how to create the form the word implies. Every scientist follows the same method in dealing with principles of nature. We have every reason to believe there is a creative law that acts upon our acceptance. This law already is equipped with the know-how to do what we accept it is doing. It is the same law that has governed all prayers of faith throughout the ages and brought about the results that have always been looked upon as miracles. They are miracles in the sense that it is a miracle for an egg to hatch. Faith, affirmation, and acceptance are acted upon by creative intelligence. Let us take this into prayer. Today, we have faith in our own affirmations. I know there is a power flowing through us, taking the form of our belief, acting upon our acceptance, answering our prayers, and fulfilling our affirmations. Therefore, I am calling upon myself and each and every one listening for a deeper faith, a broader conviction, a higher acceptance, a more complete realization. I affirm the good things we do prosper. Every person we meet is blessed. Every situation we touch is helped. Everywhere we go, some subtle influence of love and joy and peace diffuses itself as a glow from the eternal light of heaven itself. And I ask you to join me in affirming this truth by saying, and so it is. Amen. Namaste. And now I invite back up Reverend Shell.
All righty. So we are having a month on faith this month and building our faith muscles. And last week we talked about just show up, because showing up is half of it, isn't it? Just showing up and getting out of our own way is a big part of it. Today we're looking at skepticism, doubt, and faith. That's the name today, skepticism, doubt, and faith. Anybody recognize this guy? For those of you that are watching, I don't know if you can see the slide. Anybody recognize him? Who is this? Yeah. His name is John Edward. And he talks to people that have crossed over, okay? And he had a television program called Crossing Over. And so people that have transitioned, he can communicate with them, and he brings back messages and talks with them and stuff. So my first encounter with John Edwards was actually in Fort Myers. I was very involved with a metaphysical bookstore in Fort Myers for quite a long time called Planet Earth. And my mom and I were big into psychics and astrology and tarot and all that kind of stuff at the time. And my dad just said it was all bunk. And I knew that there were people that could do things, that could operate on another realm. And so I told the owner, when somebody absolutely awesome comes into town, will you let me know, and I'll bring my dad. And so she called me up one day and she said, there's somebody coming in. His name is John Edwards. He talks to people that have crossed over. You got to come, bring your mom and your dad. So I did. We went. My dad was still he's still on the fence, but on the fence now instead of it's all bunk, because that guy was amazing. There was some people in the audience that had lost a 5 or 6 year old child. Really sad. I mean, by the end of his presentation, there wasn't a dry eye in the house. But he brought forward details that there was no way that he could know. What she was eating towards the end, like they were feeding her ice cream every day, and she thanked her parents for doing that. And at one point in the presentation, he said, her blanket. And they kind of looked at him, and he goes, her blanket, where's the bag with her blanket? It's here. And they reached under their chair and pulled out this bag that had her blanket in it. There were several things that he said that they really had to rack their brain to figure out what he was talking about, but then they could see that from a 5 or 6 year old's perspective, that's the way that it would be. So it was quite amazing, and he channeled several people that evening, and I was like, wow, maybe this guy has something to say that's real. Maybe this could be real. And didn't think much more of it after that. But I was talking to my business partner at the time, the day after about it. And her husband was there, and he became quite fascinated by this. And he's like, is he going to be anywhere else? And I said, well, he's going up to Port Charlotte, and he'll be there tonight. So my partner's husband went up to Port Charlotte to watch him and went, holy smokes, the world needs to know about this guy. So Tim went all over the country with John. This is before he was discovered, and videoed him. So he videoed him in all these different venues, and then put together a compilation video that went on QVC. And that, by the way, is how John Edwards was discovered. Now, so John needed a cover for this DVD. So I was the graphic designer in the company, and Tim and Michelle came to me and said, would you design the cover? And I said, sure. And they said, his budget is really small. He doesn't have a lot of money. Can you help him out? I said, I'll trade it for a reading. And they said, great. And so we got together, John and I, created the cover for it. And then we had a workshop on Friday night where he was teaching people how to do what he did. And he said, anybody can do this. He said, it's like water. And they're on the top of the water and we're underneath the water. You could do it, the other way. We just kind of want to meet in the middle. And he was talking about vibratory ranges there. And so he was teaching people how to do it. And there were 3 people that had transitioned in my life the prior year. 3 people that were really important to me had transitioned. And so I wanted to talk to them. And when we were going through the exercise, it really felt like they were present. And so I said, hang back to them. I said, hang back because I have a private reading with him tomorrow. Let other people have the reading now. And so he read a bunch of people, and it was really fascinating and interesting again. And then the next day when I had my private meeting with him, he said, this is so weird. This has never happened to me before. And I said, what? He said, there are 3 people. It's like they've been waiting for me. And I went, okay. And it was certainly the 3 people that I had called forward. And then he went on to describe my sister-in-law who had transitioned. And I spent a lot of time with my nephew and her son. And he mentioned that, you're with your nephew a lot, you take care of him a lot. And then a friend of mine that had transitioned, he brought forward information. He said there are 3 Richards involved here. And my husband at the time, his name was Richard, still is, but his name's Richard. And then I knew that his Marcus's brother, the gentleman who had transitioned, his brother was Richard. I had no idea who the 3rd Richard was. And he said the 3rd Richard was the one that was having a great deal of problems with this death. It turned out to be Marcus's father. Now, I didn't know that. I didn't know that his name was Richard. I had no idea. And so the 3 Richards made no sense to me. And to me, that was just amazing. It's not information that I had. And it told me that I was talking to Marcus, So why do I bring all of this up? Why do I bring all this up? When I've seen psychics or animal communicators or anything of that sort, I think that people can connect with beings in form or out of form and animals. And I think that there are people that legitimately can do that. But I approach all the people that claim to do that with what I call being openly skeptical. I want to be open to it being true. I want to be open to it being true, but I'm really skeptical that it is. Does this make sense? So that's how I approach all things of this manner, with open skepticism. And so I approached John with open skepticism. The first time I saw him, I started to say, maybe there's something to it. And then when I saw him a second time, well, really maybe there's something to it. But when I had my own experience with him, there's no doubt in my mind that what this man was doing is legitimate. And if I ever saw him bumble, I would say it's not John, because I know he's legit. It's something else. He's having an off day, or they're not remembering, or they're being closed and skeptical, or something of that nature. Okay? So what does this have to do with church and all this stuff, right? What does this have to do with faith? Well, it has everything to do with faith. Now, the Greek word skepsis means investigation, and that's what the word skeptical is based on. It means investigation. And by calling themselves skeptics, the ancient skeptics described themselves as investigators. Now, isn't that a different way to look at being skeptical than what we generally say? Isn't it? I think so. And I'm inviting us to take the word skeptical and adopt the Greek definition of turning skepticism from I don't believe it to being investigative instead. And that kind of is what I was saying when I'm saying I'm openly skeptical. I'm openly skeptical. And so, what about a situation in our life? All of us have situations in our life right now, this moment, that are a little bit tough to deal with. It might be a pattern that's established, that's been going on for a long time in your life. And you've got this pattern, and you're very skeptical about that pattern shifting. Or it might be a condition in your life that you're faced with, that there's some skepticism that's going to shift. It's hard sometimes to know that the entire universe has got our back, that God is always good, that everything is always unfolding for our greater good when it looks like that. Does anybody have that kind of condition in their life going on right now? Yeah. So what if instead of looking at a condition, at a pattern, at a trait, at a person, saying this is the box that they fit into, what if we adopt the Greek skeptical description? What if we become investigators instead? What if we make that one little shift from it's in this box to let me investigate the box? Let me look at that box. In the same way that I approached John with open skepticism, I gave him zero information. I answered yes and no to all of his questions. Zero information. That for me was self-preservation, because I don't want to be taken, I don't want to be, whatever. So what if we look at a situation in our life with that same kind of thing? Instead of saying it's black, white, it could change. It could be for the higher good of everybody. It could be that the universe does have my back. It could. And if the universe really had my back in this situation, how is this good for me? It changes the questions, doesn't it? When we change skepticism from being closed down to being opened up and looking for information and investigating. Now, the title again is Skepticism, Doubt, and Faith. And what I'm proposing is moving from doubt to skepticism, believe it or not. Because I think doubt is very decided. Doubt is saying it's this way, it's icky, it's bad, it's not for me. But if we can move from doubt to skepticism and investigate, again, same way that I did with John. And did you see with John that the encounters that I had with him built my faith in what he did? Do you see that? As I had one encounter after another with him, he became more legitimate to me. As we have one encounter after another, as investigators, looking at the areas of our life that we'd like to see shift in, as we encounter more positive things, more reinforcements that yes, the entire universe is for me, yes, nothing is against me. Holy smokes, this looks like a mess, but it was the cleanest, fastest way to do this. But we can only arrive there by moving from doubt to what I'm redefining as skepticism. It's looking at things with a new discerning eye. And as I said with John, after that personal reading, there was no doubt in my mind, none whatsoever, that he was the real deal and he was really talking to the people in my life that had transitioned. It was remarkable. And what changed? Do you remember? My mind, yes, my mind definitely changed. But what really shifted is when I looked at John, and if he was having an off day, I knew it wasn't John. I knew it was something else. I knew John was the real deal, and I would take up for him. Nah, he's just having an off day, or that person is closed down, or something like that. I would take up for him because I knew he was the real deal. What if we knew this about our life? What if after some skeptical investigation into the doubtful areas of our life, we could build the muscle that said, well, it looks like crap, but I know it's not. That, my friends, is what faith looks like. That is exactly what faith looks like. It means looking at any situation that comes up, and we have built the muscle through investigating to know that we know that we know that we know. So I'm inviting you to move this week from doubt